Good afternoon. We are the Group 2. I'm Rosemarie Bote and I am the project manager.
I'm Zane Phillip Cera, and I'm one of the system integrators.
I am Rillera and I'm also the system integrator.
I am Kenneth Melchor and I am the system analyst.
I am Milo, one of the document writers.
I am Benedick Marti and I am document writer too.
Our project is entitled Healthy Choice Point of Sale and Inventory System. Let us now start with the discussion.
For the background of the study, in this day and age, the rate of growth of the businesses is increasing and there's a lot of competition happening. And this involves keeping track of records or sales for the business. But most of the businesses implement manual systems to monitor and keep track of their sales record, but we know that this can cause errors for the flow of the business. That's why having an automated system will help the businesses to improve their quality of service and avoid errors that may cause huge impact to the business. For the project statement, we have here the most common problems that most of the businesses have experienced when it comes to manual or paper-based systems.
For the project objectives, the main objective of this study is to design and develop a system that helps the user to have an enhanced and more flexible managing sales of store. It helps the store to lessen paperwork, make the summary of sale easy to locate, and be a very big assist to the company. For the significance of the study, the developed system will contain different information about the different products and enable it to store and retrieve each transaction in the inventory of each item in the store, manage product releases, and summarize the point of sale. This would generate a faster information of work with less time and effort.
Project scope. The development of the study focuses on improving the management of stocks and supplies. It will be beneficial especially for our client and will be also beneficial for other businesses that needs a system that will monitor their sales and inventory. For the authentication using modules, the users are administrator, store managers, and store cashier. The administrator will have the full access to the system. The store manager has the same access except for creating accounts for store managers and admins. And last, the cashier. It does not have full access like the other two users. They can navigate through some modules in the system but can't create accounts. Next, the inventory management. The inventory module is in real time. When a transaction was created, the items in the inventory will be automatically decreased. Lastly, the sales monitoring and database. It will also be our main features. After a transaction, there will be a graphical display that will be categorized through a in the user specification. Project limitation. The system is client-based and only focuses on a particular area of the business. The system will only run on Windows operating system.
We determine RAD or Rapid Application Development as our software development methodology. RAD focuses on projects with a well defined business objective, creating a process that allows us to gain more insight into the business objective and their importance. RAD allows the developers to familiarize themselves with the system requirements and therefore quickly adjust the client requests. It is also great for small enterprise projects as it is time sensitive. We use two data gathering tools. These are the survey questionnaire and document review. The survey questionnaire conducts a series of questions where we interpret the different views of people from a specific group relative to the project. The result is then used for the development of the proposed system. Document reviews are used to collect from existing documents and articles. This tool then enable us to compare differences and adjustments that can be beneficial when implemented in our system.
For the interpretation of data, the average SUS score interpreted and measured is 67.5% based on the data obtained and the results of the survey conducted. The point of sales and inventory system would assist the employees of the cafe to minimize paper-based work, prevent lost documents, and store information better. The researchers conclude that implementing this system will be a big demand for the business. To conclude, the implementation of healthy choice point of sale and inventory system would lead to easier and more effective monitoring of sales and inventory. The features proposed are completely achieved and implemented. Healthy choice, point of sale, and inventory system proposed by the researchers.
The recommendation, the following statements are offered based on the findings and conclusion of the study, such as monitoring of sales if the sales are categorized, having its own cloud storage to ensure records are kept safely and backed up, and having a better ordering system and transaction management. Let us now proceed to the demo and the system walkthrough.
This is the login screen. It features input validation and also password masking. So let's try to log in. So when you enter the wrong input, this will throw an error, and we will use this password masking button. And this is the dashboard. In the left panel, you can see the navigation bar, and on the upper part, you can see the title bar. It contains the calendar information and the currently login user. So this is the graph for yearly sales comparison. It compares the total sales from current year and last year. The highest sale made during last year is indicated using triangle shape, and the sales for this year is indicated using a star shape, and they are also reflected here in these rectangulars. The net sales include sales with discounts, and the gross sale has no discounts. These circular meter bars here show the difference between the gross sale and the net sale, and also this meter bar shows the high sale made during last year and this year, and also for the other triangles and meters. This donut chart right here shows the top products. If there are 5 products listed here in this legend, this label will show top 5 products. If more than 5 and less than 10 or equal to 10, this label will say top 10 products. And these numbers are the quantity made for each products. This here is the summary of the most selling product with its product name and the number of units sold, and that's also the same for the least selling products. So these buttons here are the actions and shortcuts. The refresh all button refreshes all the graph information and everything shown in the label, and this is the shortcut for the sales cart module. If you don't want to go to the sales module directly, you can click here, and that also goes for the same of the other buttons. And the buttons here are also for category management for products and inventory. So let's go to the products module. The products module features a menu bar for searching products according to their field names, categories, and also buttons for category management where you can add, edit, and delete, and also this generate button for generating hard copy of the total categories. This is the refresh button where it resets everything back to default, and these drop downs here are for filtering the categories based on their date when they were added, and this search here is for searching categories according to their category name or ID. So to add new product, we can just click this new product button, and everything in blue label is required, and the labels in black are not required. So when you want to add a product with your custom image, you can click this choose image button. If a product if an image already exists, then the system will not allow you to copy that image, and it will throw a warning. So for now, we can just use a predefined image called the avatar. So let's try to input a product name, call it meat, and category for lunch, and unit price we put 35, And the dependencies are like the recipes or materials or any materials that this product is dependent on. You can add a new product if at least one dependency is not added. So let's try to add at least one. And the newly added product is shown at the bottom. If you want to edit that product, we need to select that product first and we hit the edit button. Let's try to add a product code. And the product size, you can choose small and save. And the product code has been successfully added and the product size has been updated. If we want to clear our selections, we can click this button. And if we want to generate a hard copy of this products module, we can click the save a copy. After the copy has been generated, it will show in the background and will be open using a default PDF viewer. This label here shows the total number of the products that has been added in the system. Now let's go to the employees module. The employees module is similar to the products module in terms of the menu bar, but the employees module has no combo box for filtering categories because the employees are not categorized. The employees module is for managing users, and so if we want to search for a user, we can type the username here. The search function filters everything and it based on their full name. So if we want to search for Justin Bieber, we can type Justin and hit search both. If we want to revert back to original, we can click the clear search. So this labels here summarizes everything on the data grid. It shows the number of employees. It shows also shows the active number of employees. There are 3 here, and the number of inactive employees here. To add a new user, we need to click on the new employee button. The fields highlighted in blue are required and the fields highlighted in black are not required. So let's create a new user. And for the username is used for logging in into the system. By default, your username and your password are the same. The user label of this system includes the cashier, admin, and the store owner. The admin has control of the entire system and the cashier has a limited privilege. So now we create a cashier. And for if you want to choose your custom image, you click on the choose image button, but for now we need to select a temporary image. By default, a newly added user can access the dashboard, the sales module, and my profile, but this user has also limitations. He cannot open modules that were not permitted. To allow this user to have control of the specific module, we need first to set permission for this user. So click first on this user and click on set permission button. These are the permissions for each module. So if we want to allow this user to access the products module, we select on products, and if also we want this user to access the inventory module, we need to select this inventory checkbox and we click OK. Now let's try to log in this newly created user. If we click the modules that were not permitted, we will receive a access denied error like this. Only permitted modules can be opened by this user. For the cart module, if this user is not allowed to cancel the transaction, or if he inputted wrong input, he cannot delete this input unless he provide administrator permission. So we can do this by temporarily logging in as system administrator. That also goes the same for the cancel order button. So if you want to allow this user to cancel the transactions without logging in as administrator, we can give him permission in the employees module. We can do that by logging in as the system administrator. Now we set permissions of this user. Click again the set permission button, and we will allow him to cancel the transaction and also delete the cart items. Let's test this again. Let's test this again. So if we try to enter an wrong input, we are now free to delete this input, and also we are free to cancel this transaction.
Okay, so now let's move to our inventory module. In our inventory module, once you go there, you will be prompted immediately if you have any sold out items or critical items in stock. First, we try to add a new inventory item, but first we need to set its category first. Category so that we have an organized collections of inventory items. So first, we can add categories here. And when we put powdered goods, this is powdered goods. So you can see here it's already added, date added, and the person who add the item. We could delete it. We could delete any categories you want, or we could edit it if we want to edit it. Anyway, going back to inventory, we try to add a new item. So this is the new item window. We could add a new picture, or we could choose from our images given. So let's just say this is salt, and our categories would be powder good. It's already included here. So items in blue are required so that you can find it in the products module, and then could be equated for deduction during ordering, and that's how you add a new item. Then you can edit the given item. For example, we call it sea salt. Just click the edit button there. We can change anything here. Dry foods, price 13, total stocks to 15, stock limits 12, and then the bundle would be bulk, salt, sea salt, and then we can save. And there we go. Everything is, you can also delete, and anything you search here or selected, when you clear selection, it clears whatever you search, whatever you selected. We can also save or print a copy of the entire inventory list, for example, this one, and it would look like this. Or we could only print what we want to search, and it will only look like that. Going back to inventories, we have this restock button here. The restock button in the window is used for employees that don't have permission or privileges to manipulate items or data in the inventory module, but they are allowed to restock supplies when the supplies is already critical or out of stock. So they just add their quantity here and then save and close. As you can see, the coffee lid small is no longer red, but it is still under critical items and has a total stock of 2. Now we go to sales module. In the sales module on the upper part, you can see 4 pie graphs that connotes to the average of month sales, year sales, today's sales. We haven't yet have a transaction and today's transaction. And then the buttons down, and this button corresponds to adding a new transaction. This button shows the window of cancelled orders. The cancelled orders window has the reason and the person who cancels the order, transaction dates, quantity, and the rest of the details. We can delete the order if we want to. We could also find any recently cancelled orders here. Refresh data will just refresh all the data in the graphs and tables if it did not load. And then when clicking view full report, will print any summary data or any summary of the sales we done. So this line graph here connotes to the sales, the daily sales, and the weekly sales. On the pie graph here, it is top sales by category. So if we have, for example, different type of snack and they were bought, the top selling category would be snack. And then the least selling category is all vegan delight. So we try to create a new transaction. So under the previous to the product module, we have an item, we have a menu item called Arroz Caldo. Adding that order, we just click the add button and then set the quantity, and we could also add another one, pancit bihon, and we can just do the same. So in our system, adding discount is by item, and we can only add discount per transaction. So if the person is five or the customers are five and only one of them has a senior citizen discount, it is considered as two transactions because only the senior citizen discount will be transacted first and then the rest will follow. So by clicking the pencil icon, we could add our discount, for example 12% less VAT, and here we could edit how many orders of the pancit bihon would be given the discount. And in our scaldo, we also have 12% discount, and then the total price of the original price is 330, but the discounted price is $290 or pesos. Because this is a coffee shop, we could ask the customer to give their name or not and just put it as burger. We have the transaction number here. This is unique per transaction, and then so that the customer and then the business owner can track or backtrack any transaction. And then we just hit settle payment to pay. We could type here. We could just type, or we could just click the buttons here and then press enter. You will notice that it will just load for a second and then close. By that, we already have our receipt. This will auto print, but for me, I don't have any printer connected. So we just save this so that we can see what's inside. There. So this is how the receipt looks like. We have the business information, the employee who transacts the business, and the number of items ordered and the computation of the transaction. Moving back to sales module, we can now see that we have a today's transaction. We have a today's sale of $330 pesos. That connotes to the items ordered down here. And then it also recorded our today's transaction by 2. So let's try to have a canceled order. So when canceling an order, if you are a admin or an employee that was given permission to cancel order without admin supervision, you can just hit cancel order, and then a notification will say that are you sure you want to cancel? Then just hit yes, and you were given the reason why it was canceled, change of mind, and then the transaction will be canceled. You can check here January 12th that a transaction was canceled by Luis due to change of mind. Also here in our recently canceled, it is presented there. So that is all for our sales module. Now to our profile module, this is basically where every employee or staff can edit their own personal information or credentials. So if we try to change the name of Luis to Zalem and everything else here, there we go. And also here on the account information, if you change your username and you change your password, of course, when signing in, you need to put your new credentials. So let's try to change our username and password. So the old password was also Luis, but now the new password is Zalem. Save it. So changing password, it is already masked for security purposes because the POS is presented in a public space. And then we could also change our photo and then just hit save. By that, everything is saved, and we could log out and see if our details is saved. So Zalem, if you're going to log in again with the old password, you can no longer log in. But with the new one, we could log in. There we go. You can see your picture is already there. Your profile, the info you put is already presented inside.